I have an Hasbro yellow card Kamala action figure.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most expensive action figures.
Elastic Plastic Man, Elastic Batman, and Elastic Superman, each sold separately.
With wrestling superstars, it's like having a real match right in your own home.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most coveted action figures in the collector's world with the highest price points. We'll be focusing on action figures only, so expensive dolls such as De Beers diamond-encrusted Barbie won't make any appearances. Which action figure is your holy grail? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. El Capitan Rayo, worth $2,000 to $8,000. The 1980s saw a lot of classic action figures appear, and some companies did their best to get a slice of the pie. A Colombian toy manufacturer named Gulliver somehow got a hold of a Superman mold and decided to develop their own version, a Superman-like figure donning a flash-like symbol on his chest. El Capitan Rayo even had a secret identity and his own superpowers, despite him not existing anywhere but on store shelves. For a strange knockoff, the figure is worth between $2,000 and $8,000 nowadays. Mucho dinero, El Capitan Rayo. Number 9. Blue-hatted Babe Ruth, worth $13,000 plus. Hold on to your hats for this one. McFarlane Toys has been known to create chase figurines before, but none garnered as much attention and worth as Blue-hatted Babe Ruth. In 2008, the company released a figure of the famous baseball player wearing his white pinstripe jersey and matching white pinstripe hat. The company also produced 5 of the same figurines. However, these were wearing blue hats. They released 3 of these to random stores and kept 2 for themselves. One of the 3 figures was purchased unknowingly in 2009 and sold for over $13,000 mere months later. Number 8. Hungarian Boba Fett, worth $15,000. Star Wars. There's a reason George Lucas is swimming in a Scrooge McDuck money tank. In 1973, he made a deal with Fox to keep his salary far lower than offered in exchange for all the Star Wars merchandising rights. Collectors are always eager to add a rare item to their collections, and apparently 1989 Hungarian Boba Fett is no cause to spare expense. In 2015, renowned auction house Sotheby's held a Star Wars auction in which the Hungarian version of Fett, pristine in box of course, sold for a whopping $15,000. Can you imagine forking over that much money in return for a little rocket man in an old box? The world is a strange place. Number 7. Elastic Batman, worth $15,000. Speaking of where you can spend $15,000, there's also Elastic Batman. You don't mess with the best, and smaller toy company Mego learned not to mess with Kenner back in the day. Kenner, makers of Stretch Armstrong, didn't take kindly to ripoffs, and Mego's early 1990s line of elastic characters was axed quickly. Only 2 Elastic Batman figures survived, hence the value of such rarities. So if you want to stretch out the Dark Knight, you'll have to stretch out your wallet. You could always make your own out of plasticine or paint an old Stretch Armstrong, but it just wouldn't be the same.
Elastic Batman.
No matter how you stretch him, they keep coming back for more.
Number 6. Moonbelly Kamala, worth $3,000 to $22,000. Back in 1993, when the WWE was known as the WWF, action figures of wrestlers were plentiful. When Hasbro released a Kamala Crush figurine, however, something was off. The wrestler, who always featured a moon painted on his belly, donned a star instead. The reasons for this are hazy, but ultimately the Starbelly figurine was the mass-produced version. It is said that the figurines were remade with the signature moon, yet only 24 are known to have been crafted. In a rare case, the accurate figurine is the rarity, and a new one, mint in box, of course, can fetch up to $22,000. So check your old wrestler figurines, 90s kids.
So it is that holy grail piece, but unfortunately, man, I'm sorry, but you got a fake one.
Number 5. Darth Vader with double telescoping lightsaber, worth $22,000. Star Wars appears multiple times in this list for obvious reasons. In fact, versions of this particular figure appear 3 times, as they are some of the most valuable figures out there. In 1978, Kenner released a Darth Vader figurine with a lightsaber that was attached to his hand and came out in 2 extension pieces. The second piece, however, was particularly flimsy and a choking hazard, and caused Kenner to change the manufacture to a single-piece lightsaber, saving on cost and providing better, safer quality. This resulted in the rarity of the double lightsaber and thus the exorbitant price.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Number 4. Luke Skywalker with double telescoping lightsaber, worth $25,000. Vader wasn't the only one to have a special lightsaber. Luke Skywalker with the double lightsaber is worth slightly more than Vader, which is odd. Skywalker was the most produced figurine of the 3 due to a mail-in offer with Kenner that appeared prior to release. Perhaps collectors prefer to veer away from the dark side. Despite the slightly less rare nature of this one, a mint-in-box Skywalker sold at auction in 2015 for $25,000. To think a plastic version of the kid who just wanted to bullseye womp rats with his friends is now worth as much as a fine SUV.
No. It's not true. That's impossible.
Number 3. Hulk Hogan prototype, worth $50,000. Toy company LJN produced a few wrestler figurines in the mid-1980s, yet went out of business prior to the release of its Hulk Hogan figurine.
Hulk Hogan.
The prototype version, unpainted and crude, is one of a kind and is still up for sale on eBay, should any of you have a spare 50 grand hanging around. It was given to the seller by a former LJN engineer. It has posable arms and legs, if that can serve as a selling point, but it doesn't have a mint condition box around it, as it never had one to begin with. If you find yourself suffering from a debilitating case of Hulkamania, perhaps this is a wise purchase for you.
Do you think the Grimsters can stand up to the Hulkster?
Number 2. ObiWan Kenobi with double telescoping lightsaber, worth $76,000. And we're back to the famous double telescoping lightsaber. The Force is strong with these ones. The most expensive version of the line is the Obi-Wan Kenobi, one of which sold at auction in 2017 for $76 grand. This particular one was mint condition in its box and had, gasp, an unpunched hole at the top. Collection can be a fickle practice, but sometimes the tiniest details are the most valuable assets of a piece. Imagine if some miscreant had punched that cardboard hole out. The value would have most likely dropped a few $1,000s.
The Force will be with you, always.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few expensive honorable mentions. Scratch the Cat, worth $1,200 to $6,500. A minor, little-produced Ninja Turtles character. Computron, worth $1,000 to $5,000. A limited production Transformers figurine available only in gift sets. She-Ra and Swiftwind, worth $100 to $4,000. She-Ra and Swiftwind in one package. Vinyl Cape Jawa, worth $3,000 to $5,000. An earlier version of 1978's figurine with a vinyl, not cloth cape. Batman Robot, worth $5,000. Battery operated and produced by Nomura in 1966. Unavailable in the US.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. G.I. Joe prototype, worth $200,000.
G.I. Joe, fighting man from head to toe.
If Star Wars appears most frequently on collectors' lists, then G.I. Joe is a close second. With such rare collectibles as the female G.I. Joe nurse or the Aquanaut adventurer, among many others, there is one that surpasses every one of them. The one-of-a-kind original G.I. Joe prototype was hand-painted by creator Don Levine in 1964 and was purchased at auction by a toy museum owner in 2003 for the huge sum of $200,000. G.I. Joe is known to be the world's first action figure, and this one is handcrafted, complete with hand-sewn uniform and accessories. Yo, Joe!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.